We can't have Gabs here without making something just a little bit crazy this morning. If you want Mediterranean flair, something with bucket loads of flavour, we're going to bake it this morning.
So, we've had classic fashion from Timby, classic cars, thanks Chad, and we've seen classic hairstyles. And you, Michael? Classic.
A classic range from Clover. Timeless taste.
Made with love by Clover.
Oh, just like the beautiful torrent of rain you can hear falling on our roof right now, there is something truly magical that happens when you take feta, add a little bit of garlic, and bake it in a hot oven. Stir in some tender orzo pasta and a touch of clover, classic dairy snack for a creamy, dreamy, easy family dinner. Gabs is going to show us how it's done.
Yes.
Mama Bear, you look great.
Thank you.
You've just got this amazing energy about you. So good to have you back here, man.
And so good to be back. Thank you.
And you know why? Because it's completely self-indulgent, because you just make the coolest stuff, man. I think we share a flavor profile palette.
Oh, yes.
Very
Absolutely.
much so. This is a little bit crazy.
What are we
different.
Making? So basically we're taking the humble feta and just kind of zhuzhing it up.
I like
and making it a bit more very bougie feta. We do love that. So thankfully you've already got one that's cooked, but I'm going to show you how simple this is.
Okay.
We've got our rounds of feta, crumbly or creamy, whichever floats your boat that you've got at home. Cool. You're going to place it in your oven dish. And the nice thing, you also can make this ahead of time, which is also nice. And you've got your salt. Again, this is always to do with flavor. I mean, people are probably thinking she's adding salt to salty feta, but I mean,
it is the saltiest cheese. But and often we use salt when you're baking to activate flavors as well.
Absolutely.
So it's not just about increasing the saltiness.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it always kind of brings up that other flavor, as you said. We've got some chili flakes. I like chili, so I always add a bit more, but obviously add it for your preference.
And I think smoked chili flakes in this instance would be nice.
Oh yeah, the smoky would do very well with this. We've got some oregano, and we've got garlic cloves, which we're keeping whole, literally in the pan. And then we're going to toss with some olive oil. Give it a bit of a stir. You can be quite generous with your olive oil, because I'll show you now why. Give it a little bit of a stir around. So super simple.
And I love that, because that oil is going to take up the flavors of everything in there, and that's going to transfer it throughout the entire dish.
Exactly.
You know, I only roast my garlic now. So even if I'm using it in a pasta, I'll still roast it off in a bit of tin foil in the oven. And I'll keep like the full clove like that, and then just use little bits of it once it's roasted.
Oh, no. Roasted garlic is like the new thing. It's so good. So all you're going to do now is you pop that in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. Okay. You basically want your feta to be soft enough, like we have over here, which you're going to mash for me, please.
Okay.
So you're going to kind of mash. It hasn't
hardened yet. Okay, so it has hardened a little bit, but it's still, look at that.
There we go. So kind of your idea is that you want to literally take it out the oven, obviously using protective gear, don't burn yourself. Mash it up immediately. Obviously, we've had it standing here for a couple of minutes.
A little bit. And am I crushing the garlic as well?
Yes.
Everything together?
So that's why. We have kept the garlic whole so we can mash everything together.
If you could smell the aromas coming off. I want to bottle this oil and just keep this oil.
I know, the oil alone is just delicious. And it looks quite oily right now, but now what you're going to be doing is we're going to add our sun-dried tomatoes and our spinach, which usually when your feta is a lot more hot, it will automatically kind of wilt your spinach. So in the meantime, I can actually add some to your dish.
Yeah, please. And I'm just going to keep on. I mean, you could just bottle this and keep it and put it on some bruschetta or something. I mean, it's magical.
I mean, we're going to do that. We're going to add some sun-dried tomato to that as well.
Wow.
I thought it was going to be more dry, and now I'm using my hands to hold it, but that's all good. So we're going to do it like that. So you're going to stir that all in. Obviously, add as much spinach as you want as well. And then once that's all combined, while it's still warm, we're going to toss it in with our pasta. So I'm just trying to decide which bowl is bigger.
You'll probably find metrically they're exactly the same.
They're probably exactly the same. So I think what I'm going to do is just...
different geometry,
Yeah, so I'm going to take this over here. Actually, that's still quite hot. So let me actually...
Luckily, someone gave me some freakishly small oven gloves to use.
Okay, cool. You wipe my hands. There we go. So you're going to bring that to my side. Thank you. I'm going to now add orzo, which is basically...
What is orzo?
It's a type of pasta, but it looks like rice. But it's quite nice for something like you don't want to use rice, but it has the consistency of rice.
Yeah. And I mean,
toss that all in.
We know this from our kids. Our kids either like or don't like mouthfeel. Like, so if you find something that they do enjoy, i.e. a pasta, I think we share a similar go-to meal there in that sense. My kids just love the texture of pasta. So this is great. Not so much rice.
No, exactly.
Also is a great option,
And honestly, as soon as you've tossed everything in, your final thing is to toss in is our Clover Classic Dairy Snack for that final bit of creaminess.
Oh, just to bring it all together.
Just to bring it all together and also break down that tomato and obviously the salt of the feta. So as you saw, when I put some salt in earlier, it's okay because this will kind of
offset that
calm
balance.
it all down.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that.
Take some of this.
Again, it's all about balance, but we're taking some pretty simple ingredients here. When you combine them, they sing. And I think one of those major ingredients in this, I think that just elevates it, our Clover Classic Dairy Snack. Deliciously smooth and creamy every time. You've seen it in our kitchen. It gives a creamy consistency to this dish, obviously, but it's available in various flavors. So go out and have a little bit of fun. Try them out. Find your absolute favorite. We're obviously using the plain because we're cooking a savory dish here. But if you want this recipe, please head over to the expressoshow.com website. And if you missed any of the steps, as simple as they were, let's take you through a little play-by-play. Oh, it looks good.
Made with love by Clover.